Linux sucks, and whoa, before you go to the comments section and write your horribly mean comments about why the Linux kernel is far superior to Windows spyware, let me give you a few reasons why I think Windows is better than Linux. First up, let's talk about software. Windows is the golden child of software compatibility. I mean, pretty much every major program is designed for Windows first. Most games, Windows. Microsoft Office, Windows. Professional music software, well, mostly Windows. And sure, Linux has alternatives, but the problem is they're alternatives, and that's not always a good thing. I've tried using GIMP instead of Photoshop, and it was definitely a time. There's no CMYK color mode, raw image processing, and generally a lack of pro-grade filters and effects. On the installation side of software, on Windows you just install what you need and get on with your life. And on Linux, you Google how to install Photoshop on Linux, end up in a forum from 2012, and have to install Wine, configure dependencies, sacrifice a small animal to the Linux gods. And it still might not work. On the installation side of software, on Windows, you download your application, click next a few times, and then use your software, how it should be. On Linux, installing something can feel like you're hacking the Pentagon. Some distros make it easier with package managers that have graphical interfaces, but the moment something doesn't work, you're diving into a Stack Overflow thread that references a bug from 2009 that was never actually fixed. Meanwhile, Windows just works. Well, mostly. I mean, we all get those update nightmares, and at least I don't have to recompile my Wi-Fi drivers just to get internet access. In Windows, you just plug in a device and it just works. The only other thing that takes less effort is liking the video and subscribing. And yes, I'll give it to you Linux users, most things tend to be plug and play. But if you want to install a graphics driver that's not AMD, well, good luck. On Windows, you download it, install it, move on with your life and play League or something. On Linux, you might need to manually configure Xorg, compile a kernel module, edit some cryptic config file deep in the system, and if you're lucky, it might work. And let's be real, if you're a gamer, Windows is really the only choice. I mean, sure, Steam has Proton and Linux gaming has came a long way, but Windows still dominates. Why? Because developers make games for Windows first. I mean, you want to play one obscure indie game that you found on a Steam sale? Well, it's most likely made for Windows. Also, let's not forget anti-cheat software. Minigames straight up won't work on Linux because anti-cheat just doesn't play nice with it. Plus, we can't ignore the fact that drivers on Windows are pretty optimized for gaming. On Linux, you're often stuck with open source drivers that might not work, or you might tank your performance into the abyss and break a dependency that makes you need to reinstall your whole operating system. Now, look, I want to love Linux. I mean, I respect what it stands for. It's free, it's open source, and it gives users an insane level of control, but the average person doesn't want that much control. They just want their stuff to work, and Windows, love it or not, it delivers on that. So for all its flaws, the Windows update nightmares, forced restarts, and whatever Microsoft's doing with their Copilot AI these days, it's still the best choice for most people. I mean, it's easy, it's compatible, and it won't make you question your life choices every time you install a new program. So yeah, Windows is better. Now excuse me while I go reinstall Linux for the 10th time.